freshmen once Antonio went out and just they went on that run. Just talk about how those five played together and finished out that game for you and their growth.
All right, so I had a really good friend of mine who is, I could call him a business genius, and said, you don't need to explain yourself. You are da-da-da, and what you've done, and no, you don't need. But in this case, I'll explain myself, okay? I told the team, I only subbed Antonio for one reason. He hadn't been subbed yet. We had 7:50 to go. Give him a minute or two, and then I'll put him back in. Trey and Adu were playing okay, but I wanted to get Justin at 4. So I just looked. I said, Justin, you go to 4, and all of a sudden the game changes. So now I'm not going to sub. And we did have 5 freshmen in and came back and did pretty good.
John, people our age, a team like this, the way the season has gone, it's either going to make us feel young or it's going to age us rapidly. Which one's it doing?
I think they're aging rapidly. Oh, you're talking about me. So the only thing I can tell you, folks, that I can't, when you're dealing with young people, people's children, you can't worry how you feel. You can't. If I did, I'd be under the covers some. If I listen to anybody who's never coached or wants to criticize me personally, I can't do the job with these kids. So losing, for me, I've spoiled not only everybody, myself. Like you're supposed to win every game. What? No one wins every game. So losing stinks, probably even more so now than it did 10 years ago. But the winning still is unbelievable. And then the biggest thing for me, what about what Justin Edwards did today? Now think about it. I looked at him and I said, are you okay to go? Yeah, I'm good. He showed unbelievable confidence in himself. And it didn't come from me. The kid lives in the gym. That pull-up, that 3, I mean, that was the game. And I hadn't played him for a lot of minutes. Robert Dillingham, had to take him out. He held the ball, took some crazy shots. He comes back and plays the right way and finishes off the game. And I put him on number 0. I said, no, Robert's going to guard him. You put him on number 0, he kind of slowed him down. He still got some buckets, but they weren't the same way. And he stole a ball. And so that's the kind of Z. You guys have to understand now, Z hadn't played basketball for 6 months. It took him 2 months to get admitted. It took him another 2 months for them to say he should be playing. He should have been playing from the beginning of the year. Now all of a sudden he hadn't played 6 months. You know who reminded me of that? Reed. Coach now. Z is really good. You have to understand, he hadn't played for 6 months. Reed reminded me. And I said, I know that. What do you think? I'm not watching? But, you know, the stuff he's doing, how about Aaron today? Like, Aaron played really well. For me as a coach, I get as much enjoyment out of that kind of stuff as I do anything. But losing beats you down, but I can't let it beat me down long. Ellen will tell you, when I come home in the next morning, by the afternoon, I'm good. And I'll be honest, if I would just get up early, go to the office, watch the tape, and get started, I'd be fine. But I like to be in misery for at least 5 hours, and I'm in misery. And then I get over it and, you know, individual meetings or whatever. So, yes.
John, we know defense has been a problem this year. It was a problem for 33 minutes, and then they finally, in clutch moments, got those late game stops, got those steals. Was that finally what you've been asking in the clutch moments?
I told Jay Wright after the game, at one point I was saying, let him score so we can get it back. No, I wasn't saying that, but it's what it looked like. Like it was like, let him score fast. But, you know, they came in with a great game plan. I knew Muss would have them ready. I was really worried about this game. I had him stay at the hotel last night. I haven't done that for a year. We came here and stayed in the hotel, had a meal. You know what we did this morning? We shot around at a 1:30 game. I don't ever do that. Breakfast here, then let's play this game. Why? Because I knew this was going to be this way. I knew it. They didn't, but I knew this was going to be a really hard game. You know why? They got a really good coach, and they got really talented players that can break you down and go get baskets. What did they do? They broke us down and went and got baskets. We just happened to score more than them today.
Oh, Coach, I looked up. Last year's eventual national champion going into March was 21-7. Nobody knew. Nobody knows this year. We write a lot about the losing. You talk about it. How much do players at this point even worry about that, or are they just focused right now on, hey,
they're 19 years old. They're hungry. They're 19. But you know what? They know what's going on around them. You know, we were a couple bounces of the ball away from being 1, 2, 3, 4. A couple bounces, a free throw, fumbling the ball. You know, if the shot thrown in at the last half second. I mean, but you know what? Like I told them even this game before, this is going to be an experience that helps us grow. And it ain't going to be easy. I also told them the beginning of the game is going to be crazy. Don't be fazed. What was the beginning of the game? They made like, I had to go to a zone, folks. I don't ever play zone. We went to a zone just to stop them from just running through us. And then I ran a zone the last play of the half. Is everybody happy? They made a 3. So.
Kind of piggybacking off of that, John, what are the drawbacks of staying in the zone? It kind of reminds me of 2015 Duke that went zone, was having similar problems.
I would never watch their game, so I wouldn't know. But
yeah.
I would tell you that how many teams that played a lot of zone have done stuff. And especially when you're talking veteran teams, it's different than having young teams. The good thing with us playing zone, we have no idea what we're doing. So how can they know what we're doing? We don't even know what we're doing. We don't even know our slides, where we're supposed to go. And all of a sudden, that'll confuse them. But the problem is hard to rebound. I like guys being responsible. And I told them after, we got to come up with a plan B if someone gets it going, or we have to do some different stuff. So we will. Last couple.
Cal, have you ever had a guy quite like Rob who could be as off as he was early and then still be able to do what he did late? And how much confidence does that give the guys out there that are with him when he gets on one of those?
Well, they'll just throw him the ball and they celebrate him. But I told him for the rest of their basketball lives, what they seem to have learned, DJ, Robert, Aaron, I can go on, guys within this team that had played a bad half knew they weren't going to play that way the second half. That's one battle. The second battle becomes you have to have so much supreme confidence that no one can take it away. Not me, not a player on the other team, not an official. No one takes it away. And the only way you get that way is live in the gym. I told them today, I've had players live in the gym. I've not had this many that live in the gym, that absolutely, they get working, and they're building their own confidence. That's what they are doing, and you got to have supreme confidence that even if I miss 2, I'm making the next 2, or I'll make a game winner. But they, I keep talking that you own your attitude, you own your response to stuff. That's being professional. You understand those things. If you don't, you're an amateur. You play well, you sit on the bench, and you have bad body language. That's what a 9th grader does. That's a 9th grader. That's an amateur. The professional goes and say, all right, let me watch this, because when I go back in, I'm ready. I'm going to make something happen. We're trying to get through all that kind of stuff with this team, but you got a bunch of 19-year-olds. So, last thing, guys, I got to respect them. Can you imagine the stuff they're hearing, or the stuff they read, or the list could you imagine you having all that stuff about you? Many of the things aren't good. And some people that are calling you are trying to alibi for you and blame everybody else except your own performance, which you should own. I respect these guys. There's never been an era like this one that, in this 15 years ago, it wasn't like this. Even 10 years ago, wasn't like this. This is ridiculous for these kids. And then you're playing everybody's best effort when you're playing here, even at home. Good group. Like I said, I'm liking them. I felt good at halftime. You know, we went down, missed some, gave up some threes, had to get the guy out. Can't be in, man. Not doing that. And so then from there, we, you know, just hang around. People want to beat you. Look at Z going nuts. He's like he's 12. 7'2", 12-year-old. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.